fluid breath. Ujjayi sounds, the ah blowing in and the ha blowing out. I'm going to begin with a song by Heather Houston today. Just a few of the lyrics. Oh, river, rewild my soul. Help me let go control. Show my heart how to flow with ease again. I am ready, take me in. Oh, vast sky, show my heart how to be spaciousness again. Help me let go of control. Show my heart how to flow with ease again. I am ready, take me in. Oh, forest, show my heart how to trust this path again. Help me let go of control. Show my heart how to flow with ease again. I am ready, take me in. Oh, mama, show my heart how to beat with yours again. Help me let go of control. Show my heart how to flow with ease again. I am ready, take me in. Feeling the ground beneath us. The pranic energy flowing in on the inhales and out on the exhales. Connected to this planet, to each other. To all beings. Let's inhale our hands to our hearts. Namaste. Okay. Let's begin our asana practice standing today. Though during the practice, I would like you to have a strap and 2 blankets if you have them, or a bolster would work too for the supine work we're going to do. You may also want a pillow, and if it's cool in your house, you might want layers and a covering. But let's begin on our feet with our heels beneath our sit bones. And let's roll to the fronts of the feet onto the balls of the feet and feel the big toe ball mound, the pinky toe ball mound, and lift your heels off the ground and imagine you have bird talons that can reach back behind you and then set those bird talons down so your foot is very long back behind you. And then lift the balls of your feet and imagine you can stretch your metatarsals, the bones of your feet that lead up to your toes, long, and then set your feet down. And let's roll over to the edge. Let's lean right and feel the outer edge of the right foot and the inner edge of the left foot. And then slowly roll across the soles of your feet until you come to the left. Inner edge of the right foot, outer edge of the left foot. And then come back to center and really feel into the soles of your feet on the ground. Lifting the toes. Perhaps you feel the inner and outer arches of your feet lift. Perhaps you can feel the arch from big toe ball mound to pinky toe ball mound. And then release the toes and let them rest on the ground. Can we be aware of the four corners of our feet and the three arch cushions? And draw energy up from earth, up the backs of the legs, up the calves, through the knee and down the shin. And then can we feel energy roll down the backs of our legs, the hamstring, through the knee and up the quad and through the groin, aligning the knees, bone over bone. And then can we feel into the pelvis, upright, atop the femur bones? And let's inhale and reach the arms skyward from the grounded feet, stretching skyward. Can you root the four corners of the feet deep into the earth? And lift the low circle of ribs away from the pelvis. And feel how you can lengthen the waistline, lengthen the lumbar spine. And come back to that ujjayi breath, filling the torso. Stretching the myofascia open. And then let's ground the left foot and reach the left hand skyward, really stretching the left side of the body. And ground the right foot, reach the right arm skyward. Let's inhale the stretch and exhale the release. Inhale the stretch and exhale the release, opening the myofascia so the bones can truly float in the space of the body. Really reaching hand away from foot, foot away from hand. Inhaling the stretch, exhaling the release. Let's ground both feet and reach both arms skyward. Really lift the heart, lift the gaze, stretch. Lift the low ribs away from the pelvis. And can you keep that space as you let the arms come back down? And let's roll the right shoulder up and release it back, and the left shoulder up and release it back. And continue to switch, finding that stretch of lifting the arm bone and then letting it go into the space of the body. Feet grounded. We invite a spaciousness inside. Lifting and releasing. And then let's roll both arm bones up and release both arm bones down. Lifting and letting go. Opening up the body in the early morning. And then let's float the arms out to the side and turn your left palm up and your right thumb under and down. So you're externally rotating the left arm, and let's look towards that arm as you internally rotate the back arm, and then switch. And let's inhale one direction, the ah, and exhale the ha, the other direction. And just feel into the shoulder girdle and invite the shoulder blades to move across the rib cage. Fluid breath. Can you feel the back arm, back ribs as you turn away from them? Pull slightly away from the spine as you internally rotate the back arm. Creating some spaciousness in the body. And then let's come to center and release back into Tadasana. And let Tadasana today be a standing Shavasana. The head resting back, the shoulders, the sacrum, even the hyoid bone in the neck crease, resting back. Can you feel into the four corners of your feet and balance the weight, foot to foot, corner to corner? And let's step the feet wide. Turning the left foot out, let's lift the right heel and take it back. Heel to heel alignment. We'll float the arms up into our star pose and bend the front knee out over the second metatarsal. Virabhadrasana 2, beginning to open our hips. Let's inhale the back hand around towards the front hand and exhale it through the heart. See if you can stay with your aha breath, inhaling the arm around and exhaling it back. Can the breath be smooth and the body follow the breath? Settling into the guidance of the Ujjayi to help us ground our practice. And then let's pause, arms wide, and gently bring the right fingertips to the back leg, the left palm turning up. Let's come into our dancing warrior. Again, can you feel into the roots of your feet, the soles touching the floor? And can you lift the low ribs away from the pelvis? Can you let the shoulder girdle relax away from the base of the skull? And can you breathe sky into your grounded body? Pelvis strong, heavy on the legs, legs rooted. Let's float back up to Vira 2 and bring the right hand to the pelvis, reach the left arm forward and bring the left forearm to the femur bone. Right shoulder comes really onto the back ribs, like it's hugging the ribs lovingly. And let's reach the right arm long from the outer edge of the right foot through the fingertips, Parsvo Kanasana prep. From the center of your pelvis, can you ground down through the legs and root the feet into the floor? Breathing deep into the whole circumference of the torso. Can you think again of the bones of the ribs as spacers, floating on your waves of breath? And then we exhale and float back up, straightening the front leg. Let's turn in the left leg from the femur bone, turn the right leg out. Make sure we lift the left heel and take it back slightly. Heel to heel alignment. We begin in our star pose, hot air balloon lifting us towards the sky, and bend the right knee. Make sure the knee doesn't come forward of the ankle, which can misalign the knee. And let's turn the palms up this time. And inhale, we can draw in sky, legs grounded. Let your upper body be the trunk of the tree reaching skyward. Your legs from the pelvis down, roots into the earth. Inhaling the ah and exhaling the ha. Riding your waves of breath. And let's float the arms open and rest them on water. Left fingertips come down to the leg, right arm rises. Really think of breathing strength up the column of your spine, like you're a bowed birch tree or oak tree, your spine long, strong, and supple. So don't over rely on the back hand on the leg. The hand should be able to lift off. And it doesn't matter how far you bend back. Find that place where you feel challenged to keep the length of the spine as you open. And then exhale back through Virabhadrasana 2, reaching the right arm forward, left hand to the hip. Let's come into Parsvo Kanasana prep, grounding the right arm into the femur bone, left shoulder blade hugging the back, and then stretch from the outer edge of the left foot through the fingertips. Draw energy up the calves, through the knees, and down the shins. Down the hamstrings, through the knees, and up the quads. We don't want to hyperextend that back knee, but connect through that back leg deep into the earth. Fluid breath, filling the 3 dimensions of the torso. We invite sky into the grounded pose. We invite the ocean waves to move the bones. And then let's exhale and float back up, straightening the front leg, and turning it in from the femur and stepping together. Let's pause with the breath. Mountain pose. Okay, so now I'd like us to take some blocks, or if you don't have blocks, a footstool perhaps. Some of you may be able to come to your fingertips, but we're going to come into Prasarita Padottanasana, which is a wide-legged forward fold. And I really want you to try to hinge from the hips and not come into it by rounding the spine, which can compromise the discs of your spine. So take the legs wide and bring your hands to the pelvic rim. And from the pelvis, press down with your hands and imagine rooting your feet again deep into the earth. And then from this pressure down, lift the spine out of the pelvis like a plant growing skyward through the top of your head. And now release the arms and bring your thumbs under your jaw and your fingers around the back of your skull, and gently traction your head skyward. Unless you know you shouldn't do this for your cervical spine, you can be gentle, or you can be a little more firm if it feels good. Try to raise the skull in the back a little higher than the jaw, and really imagine that you're lifting your head and creating space in the cervical spine. Now, can you keep that space in the cervical spine and release the hands? Bring the hands to your rib cage and imagine that you're a small child being lifted by a loving adult, and they lift you from the ribs and your pelvis dangles away and your waistline grows longer. So lift the whole rib cage up, feel the space in the spine. Now, can you release the arms and keep all the space you've created as you hollow the groins and hinge the pelvis forward, bringing your hands down to your blocks, footstool, or floor. Breathe into this long spine for a moment. Feet grounded. Can you bring space in along the vertebrae? Create space between them. A lot of us compress, and I have structural scoliosis in my back. So breathing space in is fundamental to letting go of tension that's habitual, so that the spine can be more fluid. So really try to visualize breathing that space between the vertebrae. If you can continue to hinge down, you can lower your blocks or push your footstool or blocks forward into a wide-legged downward dog position. Let there be ocean buoys under your armpits so you don't drop into the armpit. And breathe length into the spine. Imagine that your back ribs are floating on your breath as you inhale the ah and exhale the ha of your ujjayi. Four corners of each foot still grounding. We don't lose our arches. They support and cushion the feet. Fluid breath. Can you reach your sit bones away from your hands and breathe sky into the spine? Now you can either draw the blocks back, or if your hands are on the floor, just bring your hand under your face. Let the left hand come to the blocks and the right hand dangle to the side. And float the right arm out to the side like a wing, bringing the right shoulder blade onto the back, keeping the legs firmly grounded. Slowly begin to twist from the base of the spine upward, bringing the right shoulder blade onto the back firmly. You can spread across the wings. Now remember, you don't have to twist into your full range of motion. You can reach back with the left sit bone. You can twist the spine, but you can stop anywhere along the twist so that you're not compressing vertebrae into vertebrae, especially if you have osteoporosis. We breathe spaciousness into the spine, grounding the feet and the hand. We float the wing back down and switch sides. Really let the arm dangle first so that you can feel the shoulder blade move onto the back ribs when you lift the arm. And don't lift the wrist higher than the shoulder. So you integrate the arm and then twist open the spine. Breathing space and sky into the body. Fluid breath. opening across your wings, grounding the feet, the hand, breathing sky between the vertebrae. Let's exhale and release the hand back down and float up, unhinging from the pelvis, and step the feet together and pause again in your mountain pose, letting it become a standing shavasana. Place your tongue on the roof of your mouth where the hard and soft palates meet. And imagine a hot air balloon lifting you from there. So you're not having to work, but your spine is getting elongated. Let that length happen. Four corners of the feet still rooted. The spine, the pelvis, the legs getting stretched long. Shoulder blades on the back body. Can you open across the wings of the collarbones and let the heart and inner collarbones lift slightly? The base of the skull lifting away from the base of the neck. We create space in Tadasana. Low ribs lifting slightly away from the pelvis. We invite sky into our grounding body. Okay, let's step wide one more time. You can either bring a block in behind your foot or a chair in behind you, depending on how low you want to go. I'll show each while we're working. Okay, so we'll step wide. We're going to come into Trikhanasana. So we'll turn the left foot out, lift the right heel and take it back, heel to heel alignment. And then we'll float the arms up, really rooting from the pelvis down into the four corners of each foot. Let's bring the right hand to the hip, right shoulder on the back, and lengthen from hip crease all the way to armpit. Really try to find length in the spine, and then bring the hand down to the seat of the chair, opening across the shoulder girdle and floating the top arm up. We come into a spacious Trikonasana. So what I want people to watch for, you can even use your own leg, is if you come low and you start to cramp over and feel the tightness in the body, there's not a flow of energy through. So ground the feet, it's early morning. Let the spine lengthen and don't be focused on how low you can get to the floor, but instead on the energy flow through your body. Feel grounded in the pose, your feet sinking deep into the earth. From the pelvis, your lower body roots. And then let's inhale and float back up out of the pose. Turn the left leg in and the right leg out. Heel to heel alignment again. We lift into the star pose, bring the left hand to the hip and stretch right hip crease to right armpit. And then come down to your seat or the block. Have the focus be creating space from pelvis along the spine. Open across the shoulder girdle and let the wing rise. Fluid breath. How spacious can you make the pose? Can you breathe sky between the vertebrae even as the legs root deep into the earth? Fluid breath. Oh, forest, can you teach me how to trust this path again? Shoulder blades on the ribs. Can we breathe into the heart center? And then from the pelvis, grounding through the legs, the spine rises up and floats up. And we turn the back leg in and step together and pause in mountain pose. Standing Shavasana. Where can you release tension from the body and let yourself rest on the mountain? Can you feel pulsations in your body? the pranamaya kosha, the breath, heat. Now let's take the chair or the blocks or the wall, whatever you have in your house. And we're going to come into Parsvo. So that's where we step one foot in front of the other. And what I like to say is we take a rock step, like we're walking down the trail, and then we pause. Okay, so we're in that stepping down the trail mode. Our feet are sit bone distance wide. We're not on a tightrope. And then from the pelvis, again, we root down into our straight legs. We inhale and reach the arms skyward, lifting the back, lifting the thumbs. Can you lift the low back ribs away from the pelvis? And then exhale, float the hands forward, either onto the wall, onto the back of the chair, or down onto your blocks. Length in the spine. We draw the front leg hip crease back. We draw the sit bones back, and we breathe space into the spine as the legs ground us. Fluid breath. Can you feel into the four corners of each foot? Can the toes not grip, but rest onto the earth? If you're on the chair and you have one of these folding chairs, you can perhaps move down to the seat. Fluid breath. The goal is to create a long and spacious spine. It's not to touch the floor with the hands. We root into the legs. Perhaps you are open, can hinge at the hips, and your hands come to the floor. That's okay too. Wherever you are in your body, honor your body. It's not worth rounding the lumbar spine and injuring your discs in the long run. Pelvis back, legs grounded. We take deep breaths. The ocean wave breaths moving the ribs. Driftwood floating on the open water. And then we come back up, unhinge from the pose, reach the arms skyward, interlacing the fingers, bring the thumbs to the base of the skull and rest the skull back in the hands, reaching the elbows skyward and opening the heart. Can you still lift the low ribs away from the pelvis? Lift the base of the skull away from the shoulder girdle. And then inhale, arms long and release. And let's turn the other direction. So again, I like the rock step because it helps people just find their ground. Make sure your heels are hip distance wide or you'll feel more out of balance. And then we inhale and we lift the arms and lengthen. We hollow the groins back as we fold forward. Find length in the spine. And then we bring our hands to the back of the chair, to the blocks, whatever best serves our body. And draw the front leg hip crease back and lengthen forward, finding space along the spine. If the front hamstring is really tight and uncomfortable, feel free to bend the front knee a little bit. The body can open over time, so be patient with the body. Listen inward to the body's wisdom. Fluid, deep ujjayi breath. Feet and legs grounding into the earth allows for the freedom in the upper body. Can you come back to resting your mind on the ujjayi waves? Feeling into the sensations of the pose as they come and they go. And then grounding the four corners of each foot, we float ourselves back up, reaching the arms skyward, reaching the low ribs away from the pelvis. Let's interlace the fingers the funny way, the way we don't normally do it, and bring the thumbs to the base of the skull, resting the head back. We lift the elbows. Again, can you breathe sky between the vertebrae? Can you let the shoulder girdle Relax away from the skull, even here. Fluid breath. Notice if you feel like you're compressing between it where the lowest ribs meet the lumbar spine. If you are, come out of the pose a little bit, lengthen the spine. We don't want to create that compression. Really find space in the pose. And then let's exhale, reach the arms skyward and release, stepping together and pausing with the breath. Can you feel in mountain for the ocean of breath moving the bones? Can you soften enough to let the bones ride the breath? Softening the hands, releasing the muscles of the forearms, the muscles of the shoulder, the muscles of the neck. Can you feel the arms ride the breath as the ribs move? Okay. Now let's turn the chair forward. So if I were standing mid-mat, the mat's long ways, the chair is going to come back to my left. Or you could have a block behind your foot. Okay, so I'm going to model again using the chair and using the block. So we're coming into revolved triangle now. So we're doing some lengthening and twisting in this class today. So I'm going to step my right foot forward and my left foot back, and my left foot's going to line up with the seat of the chair because that's where my left hand will land. So it's a twist. I'm going to twist towards my right forward leg. Okay. So we take the rock step again, and we begin with Parsvo Tanasana. We inhale and lift the arms and stretch the low ribs away from the pelvis. From the pelvis, we root down deep into the earth. And that rooting allows for us to fold at the hips and to reach the spine long and bring the left hand to the seat of the chair or the block and the right arm around like a clock hand and up towards 12 o'clock. And we open into the twist, drawing the right hip crease back, grounding into the four corners of each foot. We breathe again, sky into the pose. Can you let the shoulder girdle relax away from the skull and reach out across the wings of your arms and integrate the arm bones in towards the heart? And then can the breath move down deep into the pelvis, up through the abdomen, massaging the organs and intestines in the twist. Fluid breath. In Vata season, our digestion can get off, it can get restricted. So we breathe into the belly and we invite movement of the digestive system, movement of fluid through the organs. We reach the head out of the shoulder girdle. And then let's exhale. Lower the right wing so that our spine is long. And inhale, lengthening up. Let's bring our hands to the heart and step the feet together. Resting back again in standing Shavasana. Can you really fully rest in this pose? Let it become a standing meditation. If we can practice releasing tension here, we can do it during our daily lives, standing in the store line, waiting in traffic. We practice relaxation. Okay. And then let's turn the other way. We'll step the left foot forward and the right foot back. If you're using the block is even with the front foot and in line with the back foot, okay? And our rock step, make sure that our heels are sit bone distance wide. We inhale and lift the arms. We exhale, grounding the legs. We fold forward, drawing the front leg hip crease back. We bring the right hand to the chair seat or block, and the left arm comes around and up skyward. We draw this left hip crease back, and we extend from the heart center out both wings. Can you feel the place where your body touches ground? Can you draw energy from that ground up into your pose? Like you're drawing nutrients from the earth itself. Breathe it in. Inhaling the ah and exhaling the ha. Opening the hips, twisting the organs. We invite vital prana into the body. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, let the top wing release. Spine long and parallel to the floor before we unhinge. And then we step the feet together, hands to the heart. And relax into our standing meditation. Okay, let's come to sitting on the chair now. You can bring your blocks or your footstool in. We're going to come into a seated Marichyasana, a high seated Marichyasana. So I am focused on grounding in this class, but I'm also focused in maintaining space in the spine. So I'd like us to bring a block or two blocks in under the right foot and just step the foot up so the knee is bent. And let the left leg lengthen and make sure there's the spread finger palms distance between your legs. Okay. And then we sit right at the front of the chair. So our sit bones are on that edge and our pelvis can tilt forward. Now, we are doing twists in this class. And if you have osteoporosis, you want to make sure you don't twist into the range of motion where you're really compressing bone to bone. Okay. You want to keep length. So you may not go as far. In fact, some people, if you have spinal injuries, may just want to stop with the lifting of the pelvis and the forward fold, one hand to the knee, the other hand reaching towards the toes. That's a perfect place to be working here. What we're doing is compressing one side of the abdomen a little bit. That compression can help with digestion. It helps squeeze the organs, but you're also working on hip opening. If you want to go farther into the pose, you can inhale the arms skyward and exhale, lengthen forward, just like you did in Parsvo Konasana, and bring the right arm down to the inside of the shin and to the inside of the blocks, and open the left arm like a wing out to the side. Now, if you're not twisting, you can do good work here, just drawing the shoulder blade onto the back and really working the strength of the back body. If you want to twist, you engage that. And then from the low abdomen, you begin twisting open towards the left, lengthening across the wings of the pose and inviting the breath deep into the abdomen. Feel where you touch earth. Feel how that energy can feed up into the pelvis, along the spine and out the wings of the arms. Can the base of the skull reach out of the shoulder girdle gently? One more deep inhale here. And then from wherever you are, slowly release the pose. Inhale up, stretch towards sky. And exhale. We'll switch sides. So the foot steps up. You can decide how high you want the foot to step up. Sit bones at the front edge of the chair, right leg long. We inhale and we lengthen the torso. We can lift the low ribs away from the pelvis, lift the arms skyward. Let's pause here and take a few ujjayi breaths into the expanding rib cage. Let's breathe those breaths deep into the abdomen. And then we exhale and fold forward and feel some compression now on the left side and openness on the right side. Remember, you can pause here or you can go farther, bringing the left arm to the inside of the shin, bringing the right hand towards the right toes, and then out like a wing to the side. We can press the right arm into block and leg and open into the twist. Breathing deep into the abdomen. We fill the body with breath to massage the digestive tract, to massage the organs, to bring pranic energy into the body. Can you imagine drawing vital life force up from the earth into your pelvic core? And from the pelvic core throughout the body. When you're in a pose, see if you can micro fine tune it towards ease and comfort. And then exhale, release the wing, float up. Exhale, hands to the heart and step down. Let's take the blocks forward or your footstool forward. Sit bones still on the front of the chair, knees wide. Let's bring our hands to the low ribs again and inhale. Lift the ribs away from the pelvis. Now, can you keep this long waistline and release the arms? Bringing the hands, thumbs under the chin, fingers around the back of the skull. Can you lift the skull, lengthening the cervical spine? Releasing the hands. Can you imagine keeping all that space as you hinge forward on the chair and bring your hands down to the blocks or the footstool and press them forward? Again, a downward dog type spine. Breathing space between the vertebrae as you ground the feet and the hands. As you ground back towards the seat, even though your sit bones may lift off the seat a little as you round forward. Try to keep the knees open over your second metatarsals. They don't follow you forward into the fold. And then we come back to the Ujjayi ocean wave breath, lifting the ribs and releasing them into the trough of the exhale. Can you float on your own waves of breath? Oh, rivers and oceans, rewild my soul. And then let's walk the blocks back and unhinge. Walk the knees together and sit for a moment, spine long, feet and seat grounded. Head and heart and shoulders resting back. Can you still ride your Ujjayi breath? Can you release tension from the body a little more with each exhale? Let's take the knees around to the right, hands coming to the heart. We inhale from the roots of the feet and the seat up the length of the spine. And exhale, slowly begin to twist to the left, bringing the back of the right hand to the outside of the left leg. We open the left arm and palm up, take it back into a seated twist. Again, can you breathe deep into the abdomen? And can you feel the breath massage your intestines? Feel the breath massage your organs. Feel the breath expand your lungs. Can the hot air balloon still lift you so you don't have to work so hard? Can you breathe ease and sky into the pose? And then let's exhale, unwind, hands to the heart, and slowly walk our legs around to the left. Inhaling, we lengthen the spine. Exhaling, we slowly begin the twist from the base of the spine, like we're walking up the spine on a spiral staircase. We slowly twist to the right, bringing the back of the left hand to the outside of the right leg. The right palm open. We twist open. Remember, you can stop anywhere along the way. You don't have to go to your full range of motion. Go to where you can still breathe space into the pose, and you can still relax a little on the exhales. Can you invite sky between the vertebrae even here? Sky between the ribs. Can you feel the four corners of each foot ground? Feel your seat on the chair. Feel your connection to our planet. Listen to the pulse of the waves of your own breath. And then let's exhale and release the twist. Come back to sitting forward, bringing the hands down to the femur bones, palms down, your hands ground into the legs, feet and seat rooting towards earth. Okay, one more forward fold here. And you may want a pillow if you have stiff hips. You may want a pillow or even a bolster or a rolled blanket. If you ate breakfast, you may not want that at all because I'm going to compress your belly a little bit. If you're starting class without breakfast and having breakfast later, this is a great practice. So we inhale and lengthen skyward. Legs together, we exhale and begin to fold forward. If we have a pillow or a bolster, we can rest our arms and just rest the belly onto the pillow and breathe deep into the belly, into the pelvis. Exhaling, we relax. And then maybe we fold a little farther forward. It depends on our hip flexibility. Some of you may be able to fold to the point where you bring your hands to blocks or even your fingertips to the floor, resting on the pillow or even on your own femur bones. The gentle pressure into the abdomen helps remind the abdomen that the contents in the intestines can move. Gentle pressure. Deep breaths into the ribs of the back, inviting the ribs to release away from the vertebrae. Forward folds are inward gazing poses. that can help us ground in this Vata season. And then let's inhale and unfold. Pausing in seated meditation for another few moments. Okay. Let's move the chair out of our way for the moment. And let's bring in 2 long blankets. This is straight from Sarah Joy. We bring in these long blankets so that we can lay face down onto them. We'll bring the hip crease right to the edge of the blanket, walking our hands forward, laying our belly on the blanket. You can bring your arms under your blanket to cushion. You can fold the blanket under to cushion your head. Or if that's not comfortable for you, you may be able to fold the blanket and rest your chin with your neck straight. Either one is fine. If you rest on one cheek on the blanket, see if you can really release, let go. Can you feel your breath in your abdomen? Can you feel the breath expand your side ribs? Can you feel the breath in your back body? Can the bones of your body ride the waves of breath? And on the exhales, really release into the trough of the breath. If you're resting on one cheek, you can switch sides to the other. Can you release more deeply with each exhale? Can you invite the ujjayi vibrations into the joints of the body to let tension go? Let the stagnant energy flow out on the exhales. And then let's gently draw back up into a tabletop position. And inhale, a cow. And exhale, a cat. Pause in the cat and press your hands away from your knees isometrically. Take a few breaths into the back body. Feeling the front body grounded. Slowly in the cat pose, take the heels or the sit bones back towards the heels, breathing deep into the low back. So only as far as the stretch feels comfortable in your body. Some may come all the way back towards child, some may pause before that. Some may bring a blanket roll between the calves and the hamstrings and rest there. Fluid breath, inviting the low back to open. One more deep inhale. And then let's exhale back up to neutral table and release down. And bring your feet, if you have it, onto blocks or a footstool. You could bring them up onto a bolster if you have one. And lay down in constructive rest. So that's where your sacrum is on the floor. Your heels are aligned with your sit bones, knee bent, feet flat on the floor. Can you release your palms up and thumbs out for a moment, allowing for the external rotation of the head of the arm bone, letting the shoulder girdle broaden. Can your arm bones ground? Your shoulder blades ground? The back of your head ground? And then pressing into the four corners of each foot, let's lift the pelvis skyward. And take a few deep ujjayi breaths, deep down towards the pelvic floor, filling the pelvis, the abdomen, the thoracic chest cavity. And then exhale and let the muscles of the abdomen rest back onto the back body. Let the intestines rest back. Another deep inhale. And exhale, relaxing the muscles of the abdomen, the intestines, the organs into the back body. One more deep inhale. And on the next exhale, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, trying to let each vertebrae land itself on the ground. Yes, you're rolling through and rolling out of your lumbar curve for a moment. And then come into your natural lumbar curve. And then flatten the curve again and lift the tailbone and peel the sacrum and the lumbar spine off the floor. Peel the thoracic spine off the floor till you're resting on your shoulder girdle. Can you breathe into the back of the heart? Arms are heavy. Shoulder girdle broad. Can you feel the bones of the body float on the waves of your breath? And next exhale, let's float down again, one vertebrae at a time, landing washed up on the beach. And come into your natural lumbar curve. And pause with a breath. Let's set the right ankle on top of the left femur at the knee. Let the right knee fall open. If this feels like a good hip opener to you, you can stay here. You can even add gentle pressure with your right hand to your right femur bone. If this doesn't feel okay to your knee, you can just come into a cross-legged position. And then some of you may be able to exhale the legs in towards the chest, drawing the shin in. You may want to reach the hands through the keyhole and around the femur or around the shin into this hip stretch. And then rock side to side gently, left to right. And you may find that a little to the left, you're stretching the hip a little bit more, and maybe that feels good to you. Find the place where you can rest into the stretch, still breathing a fluid ujjayi breath and relaxing into the stretch on the exhales. We don't want to come into a stretch to the point where we're gripping the body. So check in with your neck and your jaw and your shoulders. Can these relax? Can the leg relax in towards your torso? Can you stay with the ujjayi breath? Even in this hip opener, there's gentle compression to the intestines, aiding digestion. And then let's slowly release this foot back to the block and switch sides. Pause with the left knee open, left ankle on the femur bone, and really check in with the knee. Check in with the hip and ask yourself, is this enough today? If it is, you can stay here and just relax into the opening. If not, float the legs up and reach through around the femur or around the shin and gently rock side to side. And pause wherever the stretch feels yummiest to you, healthiest for your body. Exhaling, relaxing the shoulder girdle broad, relaxing the arm bones back, relaxing the muscles of the face, the eyes, the jaw. On the exhales, can the tight muscles in the hips release a little? Let go a little stiffness. Let the ocean waves of breath massage the hips. And then as you're ready, exhale and release. And let's reach for a bolster under the knees, a blanket over the body. Or if you'd like to, you could set your calves up on a chair and a blanket under your pelvis. Come into a shavasana of your choice. A shavasana where you feel connected with the ground and like you can rest into the hug of gravity. Make sure that you cover yourself up if it's chilly in the room so that you can feel warm, because it's that warmth that's going to help us ground and avoid the overactivation of vata. You can also bring a sandbag in over your belly if you'd like, from pelvic bone to pelvic bone. You could bring an eye pillow over your eyes if you'd like. Whatever will help you feel grounded. You may just want to put an extra blanket folded along your spine. Let yourself fidget and move until you're really comfortable, resting back into the pose you've chosen. And then come back for a few moments to your ujjayi breath. See if you can rest the forehead and the scalp and the muscles of the eyes. See if you can release muscles in the hinge of the jaw. And relax muscles at the base of the skull. And you relax along the neck and through the shoulders. And allow the shoulder girdle to broaden and become heavy. And you breathe into the heart center and allow it to rest. Relaxing along the spine and into the pelvis. Releasing the muscles and the organs of the abdomen into the hug of gravity. Can the pelvis sink like a waterlogged log into the sands? The leg bones resting heavy, driftwood washed to shore. Can the feet relax? The hands relax. And if you're still breathing the Ujjayi breath, can you let even that go? Resting into your own spacious awareness. Resting into your own connection with Earth. Oh, soft wind, show my heart how to be clear and cleansed again. Show my heart how to flow with ease again. I am ready. Take me in. Oh, sunshine, show my heart how to shine with warmth again. Show my heart how to flow with ease again. I am ready. Take me in. Let's breathe gently, deep down into fingers and toes. And let's slowly bring movement back into the body. For a few more breaths, let's feel the bones ride the waves of breath. Perhaps feeling the organs and intestines ride the waves of breath. Then let's slowly lift ourselves back up out of our Shavasana to a comfortable seat. Let's inhale our hands to our hearts. May we breathe with ease into the body. May we feel grounded and spacious. Namaste. Thank you for joining practice today. Right. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all for your thanks and for your practice. Very sweet. I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye, Bella.